Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. I am a 19-year-old male who lives with my parents and my sister, who is 26 years old and still lives with us with her husband, 24 male, and their dog they brought home without my parents' permission. To give a little backstory, my sister met her husband via a dating app and then tied the knot last year. They both moved into our childhood home to save money to buy a house. My parents weren't exactly thrilled that they both rushed into marriage before even having a down payment for a house. But we're of Asian descent, and in our culture, adult kids live with their parents. So my parents were okay with them moving in. Around a year and a half ago, I decided to use an empty room in our house as my computer room. And nobody had a problem with it at the time. I'm a Twitch streamer, and that's how I earn an income on the side. So I use this room as my personal studio. I've also been supplementing my parents' income a bit with my streaming income. Since my sister moved in, they've had a bit of trouble paying for everything. Sister and husband are on a mission to save money and won't pay for even the utilities they're using. However, my sister and her husband recently decided to have a baby. Yes, it's planned. And she wants to use my computer room as the baby's room, asking me to move out by the end of her second trimester. I refused, and my sister got angry, calling me selfish and inconsiderate because she said I didn't need a computer room anymore, then her baby needed a nursery. I pointed out that if it weren't for my computer room, she won't be saving any money because I've been paying for all the food she and her husband dear have been gobbling down. She huffed and went to my mom, who also refused to make me leave the room. My sister threatened to throw out my things, but my mom stopped her. Now I feel bad and wonder if I'm the one in the wrong here. I do feel where my sister is coming from, but I feel like she's made a terrible blunder getting pregnant when they can't even save for a down payment. Any thoughts? Edit. So, a mini update of sorts. My sister tried to sneak into my computer room. It doesn't have a lock on. My dad, however, had been keeping an eye out and had seen her go in and went in after her. What he found was sister fiddling with my game computer and setup. Dad thinks she was trying to find a way to dismantle it and take it away from the room, but since Dad went in, she couldn't, and hurriedly went out. I'm now getting a lock, plus the three of us had a discussion, and my parents think that my sister and husband need to go. Because knowing my sister, she most likely will get my parents to do the bulk of childcare with me getting a proportion too. And they aren't interested in it. So yeah, they're gonna break the news to her today. Your sister sounds like a piece of work, OP. Not only did she bring in her husband to come live with her at your parents', but she also brought a dog without their permission, and now she's also having a baby. When is she and her husband finally going to get an apartment? Why did she plan her pregnancy before they got the apartment? I'm very happy your parents are done enabling her. There is no way they would send you packing when you help them out by paying rent and leave your sister who doesn't pay a dime alone. They've done their best for her as a parent. It's time she speeds up that search for an apartment. Story 2. My 6 and 7-year-old daughters are starstruck with YouTube personalities and want to imitate their idols, Jojo Siwa, Tiana, etc. The last year or so have been a battle of wits, the kids begging for their own YouTube channel so they can imitate their idols. Myself and partners constantly trying to find creative ways to tell them no. A few days ago, they returned from visiting the in-laws with the news, "Dad, guess what? We have our own YouTube channel." Brother-in-law and his wife went over myself and partners' heads and not only helped them create their own channel, but filmed them and uploaded videos to their newly created non-private channel, which neither myself nor partner have any control over. There's nothing dodgy with the content, just the kids talking gibberish in the grotty, poorly lit spare bedroom at their grandparents' place. I'm still effing livid and haven't yet had a chance to confront Uncle since he effed off on holiday the following morning. My partner initially shared my anger at him, but has since calmed down and thinks I should just let it all slide, since nothing bad has come of it so far. Am I the a-hole for wanting to confront him as soon as he gets back from his holiday and demand to know what the F he thought he was doing with filming our children and managing their YouTube channel? Pardon the overly dramatic, kick 7 shades of shit out of him flex in the title. I'm absolutely not planning on threatening him with violence, just letting him know how much I think he's overstepped his mark as fun uncle and putting it in no uncertain terms that if he ever pulls this shit again, he's getting cut off completely. Not the a-hole OP. I understand being uncomfortable with videos of your kids just floating out there on the internet for anyone to view. They're not the parents, and they should most definitely have asked you before setting something like this up. Even more not the a-hole if they already knew your feelings on this and did it anyway. Cutting off brother-in-law is too extreme though. Your kids sound like they enjoy him. Speak your mind, but don't alienate family over a YouTube channel. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. There's so many awful people on the internet. Personally, would not let my kids have a YouTube channel at that age. To each their own, but totally agree with OP. I'm assuming uncle knew you felt this way. Maybe go 90% easier on him if his nieces just sweet-talked him into doing something. I say uploading to YouTube using the private option would be a good idea. Make a new account that you control, let them make their silly videos and then upload them with the account on private. They still think they have a channel, but only you and people you designate can actually see their videos. Then, when they're older, you can go back and show it to them, and they'll be glad that all the videos are private and no one but you ever saw them. LOL. Not the a-hole. I would be livid as well. They had no right to do that without asking you first. I mean, putting your children on YouTube for the world to see? What the F? Not to mention how this shapes the kids' behavior and thinking down the line. They'll think this is the stupid shit that's important in life. I would only say that their intentions, though completely stupid, were good. They were trying to do something nice for your kids to make them happy. So yes, you should confront him ASAP and make it known how much this upset you and why it was so wrong of them to do so. But maybe don't actually kick his ass. Story 3. Let me preface this by saying me and my brothers are all in college this year. Well, one of them took a gap year to play hockey. Last year, they were seniors in high school, so they were still at home with my parents and being 100% supported financially by them. Clothes and electronics, laptops, new Xbox and all. For the past 3 years since I've been in college, I've been financially dependent on them for my plane ticket home, from school, my phone and food when I'm home. Everything else I get is paid for by a student loan that I have to pay back. Last year for the holidays, we don't really do Hanukkah or Christmas, just a random day where we give each other a few presents. My brothers got Calvin Klein winter coats, Lululemon clothing, $200 plus cologne. They were 17, and new phones. I got a pair of socks and a graphic shirt. I shit you not. I'm not trying to sound ungrateful for getting something. I honestly didn't care if I got nothing at all. I just felt like shit watching them open all those nice gifts, and then I got socks and a shirt. It was an awful feeling because one of my brothers, the one taking the gap year, is the obvious favorite in the family, and everyone including friends and extended family know it. But my mom refuses to admit it. He gets whatever he wants throughout the whole year, including really expensive designer clothes and brand new hockey equipment, which is upwards of $1,000 for the skates he uses. If he doesn't get what he wants, he gets nasty and violent. This year, my mom asked me to go shopping for presents with her, and I refused because I went with her to buy all of my brother's presents last year and spent hours finding the perfect stuff for them and got nothing in return. I didn't need anything over the top, just a little more effort than socks. So I called my mom out on what happened last year, and she went off on me about how I'm ungrateful and how I'm gonna put her in her grave and that she does everything for me and how she has no money. I effing lost it. I mean, every now and then she'll buy me a new dress or a new phone case or something like that if we're out shopping together. But I never demand she does it. She does it because she's my mother and she's been nice even though I could buy those things for myself. And my parents don't live paycheck to paycheck, but they definitely struggle sometimes. Yet she buys such expensive shit for my one brother all the damn time, and if anyone in the family calls her out, she explodes. She just visited him at a hockey tournament in Arizona for a week. We live in New York and she flew and booked a hotel resort. But then we struggled to have food in the fridge. I don't need to get gifts from her for the holidays. I really don't care. I just find it unfair that she gets my brothers such nice things, then makes up lies for why she won't get me anything nice. It just makes me feel like she doesn't care about me as much, if that makes sense. I've told her this, but her response is that I'm a spoiled bitch and I'm going to put her in an early grave. So am I the a-hole for calling my mom out? OP, you're not the a-hole. Your mom is. I'm sorry you're feeling unloved and left out, but I just want you to know that this has nothing to do with you but everything to do with her. Your mother shouldn't have a favorite child, and even if she does, she shouldn't treat him significantly better than she does her other children. Her actions are only going to harm your brother in the long run. While you will be out in the world doing better for yourself, he may, unfortunately, be dependent on your mother all his life, and if he isn't dependent on your mom, his level of entitlement will be high and he'll expect everyone to treat him like his mom does. And we all know that's not happening. Unfortunately, your mom is probably not going to change since she refuses to admit her faults. I hope you learn a way to cope with this in the future. Take care, OP. Now for some comments. You're not an a-hole, you're just calling her on her shit. She sounds like a terrible parent, which unfortunately you are probably not going to be able to change. You should definitely not take it to heart when she says you're going to put her in an early grave or whatever bullshit. The reason she lashes out is probably because she knows you're right and doesn't want to hear about it or feel guilty. If it were me, I would definitely not be going out of my way to do the woman any favors. You are definitely, absolutely not the a-hole. I would say your mom is without a doubt. I can't believe there are actually parents out there who play favorites with their kids. That is so messed up. Not only do your parents have issues with managing their finances, they also have issues parenting. Sorry you have to go through that, but most chances are that your mom is not going to change. All you can do now is try and use this to become a better person. The ones that have to work the hardest are the ones that enjoy what they earn more. No, you are not the a-hole. You will never win this argument, believe me. I've had this issue in my family my whole life. My advice is to continue to love them all. Feel bitter if you need to. But know that in the game of life, your parents aren't helping your siblings. The sooner someone learns to fend for themselves, the better. While it feels shitty now, you should be better equipped to deal with the real world while your siblings will eventually feel the culture shock once out of the house. In my case, once I hit about 14 or so, I used my summer job to buy my school supplies and clothes. I had to pay for my first cell phone bill and my own auto insurance. When I used my parents' vehicle to get to the university, I felt like I should top up the gas, etc. I'm in my 30s now and I feel I have a decent handle on life. My sisters bumble their way through, unable to deal with the simplest things. They have always had everything handed to them and most of the time still do.